Alright, I'm gonna make this quick. The Kung Fu Panda 4 movie is not very good, and I will tell you why. So, if you have not watched the Kung Fu Panda movie, the fourth one, it is basically, to summarize the plot, it's about Po being the Dragon Warrior, but having to find a successor to him being the Dragon Warrior, because he's supposedly spiritual leader now after going to the Valley in Peace and getting this staff from Master Oogway. And at first glance, that sounds okay, but they just they don't they just don't do a lot with the plot. Like they they just they just they add a lot of significance to something that was initially in the third movie not really seen as important, and they replaced the Furious Five with Aquafina's character, all of them into one character, and we're like, wow, that's like a little bit hard. It just doesn't really work. Like the chemistry is just not there, you know. What else? I think the best part of this movie are Mr. Ping and Lee's scenes. Those are probably the funniest. But overall, like, this movie was pretty disappointing. I have to say, I loved Ki Kwan's character in this movie. If there was like one thing I enjoyed, I think Ki Kwan definitely deserves more roles. But you know, this movie just wasn't very good. Yeah. What else? The chameleon character, it's kind of mediocre. I won't lie. The whole reason she became a villain is because she was too short to be accepted into any dojo. And yeah, that's why. She does bad things. And decides to become a sorceress. What else? I mean, the final fight, you'd think the final fight is like insane, right? The trailers tease this crazy fight where he fights himself, but the whole fight, if you can even believe it, is like literally just 7 minutes long. It's like one of the lamest fights ever. Like it's lamer than the previous fights, like the one where he fights literal NPCs. Poe fights NPCs. Those fights were more entertaining than the actual final fight. He literally does nothing. He just lets the fox use the staff, and then it just insta defeats the chameleon. Tai Lung was done dirty. They brought back Ian McShane to voice Tai Lung, but he only has like 5 lines in the whole movie, and they're all at the end. Like that scene where the chameleon brings back all the characters from the spirit realm in the trailer, that's at the end of the movie. People thought it was at the beginning. It teased it as the beginning, but no, it's at the end. And they just really do nothing. They could have done so much with with Tai Lung's character, but they just have him say 10 lines and then just say, we dipping. The Furious Five are not in the movie. They're in like the end credits, and like they're shown training the fox, but like it's they just really don't know where the series can go from here, to be honest. Like, it's this Poe just like dip out of the series? Is it a passing of the torch? I don't really know, and I just feel like it was a film that didn't really need to be made, which I know is what a lot of other people are saying, but it's true. It's like if the first two movies were like sandwiches, this movie is literally sandwiches, but only in the top and bottom bun. Like it's just like everything you saw, all the marketing, everything. That's all there really is to the movie. There's no plot. There's no uh, good writing or anything. Like the first two movie were absolute masterpieces in the sense that like they took themselves seriously. It had like it looked like a kids movie, but it also had very mature themes. But the only theme they tackle in this movie is that it's okay to accept change, but like the change sucks. So yeah, like I just feel like Fox is just not a good successor to Poe. Like they could have made it anyone else, literally any other person other than her, or even just Tigress from the Five, because like they've teased how like she's trained her whole life to be the Dragon Warrior. So like I feel like it would have been a good way to come full circle, and they just didn't do that at all. The music is amazing as always. Hans Zimmer always does an amazing job. In all the movies he scores. So from a music standpoint, it's good. But like, you're watching the movie. The music, you can't really elevate a bad and poor plot. Yeah, the first half of the movie didn't even need to happen. Like they literally do nothing. All the plot points happen in the last 20 minutes of the movie. And the pacing throughout the movie, it starts off and they just cut through so many different plots and ideas that I felt like the person that wrote the storyboard must have had ADHD or something. Like they literally was like made by someone with like a 5-minute attention span. Like they just didn't know what the hell they were doing, and yeah, I mean they could bring back the series or like redeem themselves somehow, but if it will just be Aquafina's character from now on throughout the next movies, I just feel like the viewership for the next few movies, like people would just stop caring, like everyone wants to see Poe and Jack Black and the funniness along with the serious themes these movies tackle, and this movie just couldn't really deliver it. So if I were to give it a rating, I'd probably give it like, I don't know. That's another thing too. So people say the movie is mediocre, but I just really don't think it's mediocre. I think it's bad because they started off so good. So like even if it was mediocre, it's just like the drop off and quality is just way more obvious. If the first two movies were of similar quality to this movie, I feel like I wouldn't be as mad because they didn't show before like what they were capable of doing, but because the first two movies are like actually really good and they seem to know where to take the series and like how to balance mature themes with like a nice visual. This movie just is really disappointing to me, so I probably just say this movie would be like 5 out of 10. Like I'd probably not watch it in theaters. Just watch it when it comes on stream if you want to. It's not you don't even need to watch it, to be honest. Like I basically explained to you the whole movie in like 1 minute because there literally is nothing to talk about at the movie. Okay, that's about it. So yeah.